Hey there you guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the echoey front den upstairs. So I wanted to share with you some of the plants that I recently purchased. We came out of lockdown a few weeks ago, which was amazing. I've been going a little bit of stir crazy like probably everybody else, and I had to go to a garden center. I went to two, my local garden centers. I went to Rice Road Greenhouses and Vermeer's Garden Center, and it was a lovely experience. And I met up with a fellow Instagrammer, Matthew, and his Instagram is Residence Green, I believe, and I will link down below. It's a fantastic Instagram account, Plantstagram account, and yeah, he's a fellow plant nut, but he grows beautiful plants, and his plants are much more beautiful than my own. So it was nice to see him, and yeah. Hopefully, he's in my area, so hopefully we can hang out a little bit more often, talk plants, and go shopping together. So when I was out, we did a little bit of a plant trade, and I forget what I gave him, a bunch of things. I think a Philodendron Tahiti, a Euphorbia, oh what is it, a Madagascar Jewel, and something else. I just needed to get rid of some things, and well, I didn't need to, but anyway, he gave me this beautiful Hartley Philodendron, I forget what it is, neon? Is it neon? Philodendron. So, super cute. I've been looking for this one for a while, and he gave me some cuttings, and yeah, they're good. Hopefully they do well. I have a habit of killing philodendrons, but I put everything in clay pots, as you'll notice, and hopefully that helps me let it dry down a little bit more before I water again. Gives me that tell too that if the sides of the pot are still wet, then chances are it's still wet. So yeah, super excited to grow this one. In my area, you can't find these in 4-inch pots. They're only in larger 6-inch pots or 8-inch pots, and they're more expensive. They're like $25 or more as the prices of philodendrons go. I'm sure you guys are all well aware. They're way too expensive for what they are, for the most of them. So I thought I'd bring you in and show you some of the plants that I purchased. A little bit of a plant haul, as it were. I didn't do anything super expensive. I think I want to go back to what I really like to grow, or what I have liked to grow in the past, but don't have anymore. And I'm also trying out Peperomia. I have grown Peperomia in the past, and it used to grow well for me, but in recent times, over the last couple of years, whenever I grow them, they last for a month or two, and then they just collapse. And I think that that is because I have a really bad dry, wet cycle. So they get too dry, and then the roots get fragile, and then I water them a bunch, and then they rot. So I have a feeling it was my own bad, and so that's why I'm going clay pot, and I'm watering them more regularly, whether it's once a week or once every week and a half. Whenever the top inch or so of soil is dry, I'll give it a little bit of a drink. And I've also started amending my soil. I'm not using the orchid bark and all that stuff. Sometimes I do add it in for some things, but I'm mostly just taking my regular soil mix, whatever that is, and I'm mixing it with about 50% more perlite. So I've been going through a lot more perlite. It's making the mix really, really airy, and so far it's been working really, really well, and I really like that much more. And perlite seems to be much less expensive than the orchid bark, the coconut chunks, and all that stuff. But that's only in my area. In your area it might be different. So the cost of things vary so much. So I thought I would just show you what I got. So I'm going to start here because I have the name written down. First thing, I'm grabbing the saucer. Why am I grabbing the saucer? First thing here is the Calathea. What is this called? It's a jungle velvet. Let me get my phone. The Calathea Worskuitzii. Worskuitzii. I hope I got that right. And I got this because, like the common name, jungle velvet, the leaves are just so soothing. They're relatively thick, but very, very soothing. I've even got this in a clay pot. What I've been noticing with my Calatheas is they do appreciate drying down. I have had them all in wick watering, and they did beautifully. Don't get me wrong. It got to a point where I didn't know whether it was wet or dry, because if they're constantly moist, the top it can stop doing its little capillary action thing, and the bottom could be soaking wet, and the top could be crusty. So it was hard to judge what was going on. So I put it in a slightly bigger pot. I think I bought this plant in a 3-inch pot, and I think maybe a 4-inch pot, and then this is a 6-inch terracotta. So I put it in a slightly bigger pot, and that way it has a little bit of extra time to dry out. But the porosity of the pot is really helping it get the airflow in there. They don't like to be suffocated. They don't like to be overwatered. They don't like to be underwatered. So yeah, this Calathea I hope is going to do really well. And yeah, I'm just experimenting with clay pots. I have this one and one of my other lancifolias, the rattlesnake Calathea, and it seems to be responding really well to clay. So that is that one. Love it. Hopefully it grows well. I've been having really good success with Calathea until they get spider mites. Then it's a downhill spiral. Oh my god, spider mites are awful. So, but the lancifolia has been doing really well, and the vittata has been surviving. And yeah, let's move on to the next plant, shall we? Let's go back over here. So, because it's March, I wanted to get some shamrocks. I also love them in the garden. I love having them in pots, and then I let them go completely dormant over winter. Sometimes I leave them in the garage, and they die right back. I don't water them. And then in the springtime, I pull them out, and I give them a drink, and they start sprouting right back. And super excited to grow these. Super easy to grow. They want bright indirect light, and yeah, they like to be watered when they're pretty dry, and you don't want them to wilt. So yeah, just watch your plant. And these guys are super fun to watch because at night the leaves close up. If you haven't grown an oxalis before or a shamrock, I do recommend it. They're super inexpensive plants around here. And usually in March is when you find them for St. Patrick's Day. And yeah, I totally recommend them. This one here was a mixed pot. So I usually buy the purple one every year, but I really wanted to have different types. So this one was a perfect opportunity. It has the regular solid purple leaf. And that one I showed you had the little bit of light purple on the inside. This one over here is the solid purple. And then I've got the regular green, and that's about it. So 3 different varieties within this pot. So I'm very excited to grow these again. Next on the list, and correct me if I'm wrong, many of these things don't have tags on them, so I'm just assuming. And if they did have tags, they could have been wrong anyway. Most of these things are very generic. So I believe this one is called, it's Peperomia Red Ripple. I really loved how dark the leaves are, and it's got a little inflorescence starting here, and it's doing very cute. It's doing beautifully. I've only had it a week maybe, and maybe 2, and I haven't killed them yet. So this one here, I don't think it's a ripple. Whenever I Google it, anything that looks similar to it is called a silver ripple, but this one doesn't actually have a ripple in the leaf. So if you know what this particular peperomia is, please let me know. It is amazing. It's beautiful, and it seems to have filled in this pot fairly nicely. This section here was, you could see the soil, and now it seems to be filling in really nice. So if you know what this variety is, please let me know, and I will make a tag or something for it. Another one that I wanted to give a try to, because I like to hurt myself. Not hurt myself, but you know what I mean. This plant is typically a hard one to grow because this is a Phytonia, by the way, or nerve plant, I believe is a common name. And this guy likes to be constantly moist. Not wet, not dry. So I don't know what I'm getting myself into, and that's why I put it in a clay pot. I want it to dry down enough so that I can water it on a weekly basis. I put this in one in my bathroom. I just put up a floating shelf in the bathroom right by the tub, so I can monitor the moisture levels a little bit more closely. That's just a good way of forgetting about them, because if you look at them all the time, chances are you just like, I watered it, I don't know when, so it's probably good. So I will watch it, and hopefully it does well, and hopefully it enjoys its little clay pot. And yeah, really excited. I've been seeing some beautiful photos online, mostly on Instagram, of these Photonias, and as they get bigger, they just get amazing, stunning. So I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna give it a try. So this is one, I don't know the Latin name, but it is a bird's nest fern. This one is called Crispy Wave, I believe. Is it Crispy Wave? Yeah, Crispy Wave. So it will be crispy eventually. A number of years ago, I think almost 30 years now, I had a bird's nest fern, and it wasn't this type. It was the type with the nice smooth leaves that get fairly wide, that get to be about on a relatively small plant. I think my leaves were about six inches wide, and the plant itself was maybe a foot and a half tall, and it did beautifully. I think I bought it as a 3 or 4 inch pot when I got it, and it did beautifully until I repotted it, and I was really young, and I potted it into a clay pot with a cute little scene on the side of it, but it was like indented into the pot, so I had to really break apart the root system to get this root ball in, and I think I killed it at that point. But it was growing beautifully, and I wanted to give that a try again. This isn't the same type, and I'm looking for the nice smooth leaf bird's nest fern, but this one will do for now, and I will experiment with it and see what I can do to make it thrive. But this one, I believe, is naturally a smaller type than what I had before. Whenever I see like a 6 or 8 inch pot, the leaves are quite still narrow, and it's a nice full plant, but it's smaller, more compact. But the other one that I had was a larger. I think you can get them to like 3 or 4 feet across, and it was beautiful. So this one here is a fun one. I found this at one of my local garden centers, Rice Road actually, and these guys are all over the map. This is a string of pearls, but it's a variegated version. They had this little guy for $5.99. And how could you pass that up, because variegated string of pearls online in my area are quadruple that. Anyway, you're probably looking at about $25 to $35, which is ridiculous for a tiny pot, and I don't understand the craze. But I wanted to try string of pearls again, and I put it in a really free draining mix. I think I put even more perlite than I did for other things. I want it to really dry out between waterings, and I want to be able to water it weekly. So I'm really paying attention to the soil and how I'm creating it to make it better work for myself. And another one that I got, which is super fun, as you guys probably know, I'm a big alocasia fan, especially out in the garden. In that sense, I think I'm going to scale back. I'm going to scale back on the bigger ones, and I want to start getting some of the smaller ones. Ones that I can grow in pots, either on the patio or in the house. And this one here I thought was going to be perfect. It's going to be similar to the poly, so I don't know how I'm going to like it. Poly, for me, it grows well in the summertime, but then when it comes in for the winter time, if you don't give it enough humidity, moisture, light, whatever, it just goes dormant, or the leaves go stupid. So, for lack of better words, the leaves tend to really crisp up on these, and they really actively go dormant. So this one is Bambino. I'm not sure. I think it's a type of Amazonica, like the poly, but it's just got a really small, slender leaf. As you can probably see, the markings are sort of starting to come out. So I wanted to experiment with this one. I think this one was $5.99. So I thought, why not? I've got nothing to lose at this point. Well, I just lost $5.99, but I'll give it a try. I want to see what it does. I want to see how the plant grows, and it's a perfect time because soon these things are going to be going outside for the summertime, and they do so much better outside. And just a little side note, the the alocasia poly that I cut back and transplanted and tried to rejuvenate, it's still alive, but it's dormant. I check on it, and there's roots. The roots are nice and white, but it's just not producing top growth, so it's not happy enough yet to start growing. Hopefully when it's time to go outside for the summertime, it will start to grow again. When it does, you guys will get an update. So, let's save that one for the last, I guess. This one here, I think this one is Sansevieria or Dracaena. Let's go with Sansevieria. I think it's Tough Lady, I believe. Let's hope. I really wanted Tough Lady. I've been seeing it in the garden centers, and there's something about it. The small little leaf, and it just seems very thin. This one may or may not be it. It might just be a little bird's nest style. I think the Tough Lady will grow tall and just with the tiny leaves, and they're just nice. Now that I feel it, it doesn't feel the same as a Tough Lady. So we'll have to see. We'll see how it progresses. I'll see some more Tough Ladies in the garden center every day. Yeah, the Tough Lady I think has a thinner leaf, unless this one just has been watered and the leaves are a little bit more succulent at the moment. So there's that one, super cute. Can't wait for it to grow a little bit more. It's already got a little offset. Starting to grow. You probably can't see it. The light is probably crazy. So right here by my finger, it's got a little baby. So even if it was a bird's nest style, then I'm okay with that because they're super cute. And then last but not least, this is the Monstera Peru. And found this one at Rice Road Greenhouses, and it was $14.99. And I could not pass it up because everywhere around here for about this size of cutting or plant is about $40. And I don't want to pay $40 for a tiny plant that will probably get killed because me and my philodendrons and theriums and such are not going so well. Whether it's thrips, whether it's overwatering, whether it's underwatering, I'm always in trouble. So again, I've got it in a clay pot, really monitoring the moisture level, watering it when it gets dry, and yeah, I have a mixed feeling about the Peru. It's a really, really cool leaf. Peru looks like it has a problem. It just looks like it has a deficiency, and I can't get around that. But when I see plants that are larger, more lush, more than just a little stick and one leaf, they look beautiful. There's something about their texture that just really draws me in. But when they're small like this, I'm like, what's wrong with it? So I can't wait to, well, I guess I'll have to wait. I want to see what this looks like when it gets a little bit more full. And yeah, hopefully it grows well, and hopefully I like it, and yeah, hopefully I can keep it alive. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this little bit of a plant haul. Nothing here was super expensive. Just enjoy your garden center and buy what makes you happy, grow what makes you happy, and yeah, trade with your friends. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot this one. As I was putting things away, I'm like, oh my goodness, how could I forget you? I also found this string of hearts. This is the silver string of hearts. So Serapegii, what is it, Woodii, I believe? And it is the silver form. Look at those leaves. They're so cool. They're so thick. They're so thick. And yeah, I wanted to share that one with you as well. Got that in my recent trip as well. And it was a steal. I had to pick it up. I should have bought more and put them in a bigger pot together. Usually around in this area, these are about $40 each, or $30 or $40, and it was only $9.99. So put that in my cart for sure. So I really enjoyed the string of hearts, as I'm sure many of you do, and I'm really eager to see how this one grows. Anyway, until next time, happy growing.